I've been looking forward to this all day. It was 48 degrees last night, and it's supposed to snow tomorrow. Should be around 25 degrees for a couple nights, and then it'll be, hovering right around 30s for a few more days, I think. So I went ahead and wrapped the rest of the plastic inside of the hoop house here to keep things from freezing. Yesterday, a guy was nice enough to bring up 4 bales of straw and 5 bales of alfalfa hay. So I put a couple pallets down and threw them over on this end of the shed. And I drilled holes in all the ends of my yard working tools and axes and things and hung them around the side here. And I brought the shelving up from the geothermal. And of course, this side is still pretty well the same. I finally have the geothermal cleaned out, and I'll be able to do a few 30-inch rows in there. I just need to button up the outside here. I need to close off the areas that the plastic is open, and then I want to put another layer of plastic in the geothermal like I did over here in the hoop house. At the end of the hoop house, I have a pile of manure that I've been building, and they normally kind of sit in a pyramid, and I just continue to turn them. But because it's going to be getting cold, I just figured, well, I'd kind of insulate the whole back end there. This is where the coldest winds come from anyhow. And of course, the manure will create heat that will penetrate through into the hoop house. I'm making myself a salad. I got, there's this kind of Swiss chard, and then there's this kind. And then I've got a bunch of arugula. These are some of the pieces that still had bites in them. And I got one little baby tomato here. The biscuits that I made yesterday were so good that I made some more. Look at this thing's all flaky and tall. And I just, I'm not gonna waste that little bit there. And I barely got one here, but these will turn out to be some nice biscuits, and they taste really good and they're soft. And I'm heating up the wood burning stove right now, and on top of that I have this Coleman oven. So as soon as this heats up to about 250, I can cook these pretty good. I just added half a can of peas and half a can of black beans to my little salad, and I tossed it, and my tomatoes in there somewhere. Last night it was 36 degrees, which is the coldest it's been all season, and I unwrapped the garden to find out that everything's just fine so far. I don't see any signs that anything was heavily damaged from the cold weather. But I am thinking, just in case, I'm thinking that I could run, I could tie a piece of paracord here and run it all the way down to the end and tie it at that corner as well. And that would allow me to hang a piece of plastic through the backside and up and over the front. And so that there would be like a little tent inside the hoop house. So basically we have the hoop house itself. Then I went ahead and wrapped the entire inside with a 1.5 mil plastic, which is not recommended necessarily because it wouldn't naturally breathe. But I do have it set up so that there's a lot of pockets for air to circulate, and it seems to have worked last night. So then on top of that, we would have a third layer, which will make little tents over both rows here. And I think between all of those things together, especially after seeing this morning that 36 degrees didn't seem to cause any problems, I think that we'll be fine with the 25 degrees. And most of the year it doesn't get much colder than about 20 degrees. So I think we would be pretty set to go for the winter. Malleus says it's time to eat. So do these guys probably. Maybe Nugget's hungry. You hungry, bud? I started keeping a pocket knife right here. I can't tell you how many times I came out to get a flake of hay or straw, and I couldn't get it really because I didn't have a knife to cut the line. I am guilty. However, sometimes I've used my shovel or something else to cut the line. Knife is just a lot cleaner. Let's see. Alright, there's a flake. Here, you guys can just go at it right here. How about it? Boom. We'll get one for the pigs. Hopefully it doesn't fall apart with one hand. You guys hungry? Of course you are, huh? Well, we'll just try to give it a wing here. Whoop. There you go. Bonnie could have babies anytime now, really. I just used the rope from the bales of hay. So I've got a line going down each side that I can drape plastic over. It was 37 degrees again last night. The garden seems to be doing okay. 37 degrees today. I checked the garden. Everything looks fine so far. I guess we'll know for sure in a few hours. And tonight is when it's going to really get cold. It's going to be like 25 and, you know, around that area for a few days. So I think tonight I'll put the tents over the garden beds, and then we'll take it from there. Just got back from town, guys. I got a diesel heater and some Targets and some groceries. But here, oh, activated charcoal. So anyhow, I really want to go down this way. So, you know, we went on a hike the other day to the abandoned homesteads. Well, past that, there's, you know, some sort of water body. I don't know, you know, a spring. It's probably not huge, but there's actually, you know, as you keep going, there's more. If I can continue to go, we'll go check them out. If I can't, we'll turn around. And how cool would it be if there was one big enough to fish in? Probably not. So if anything ever goes seriously crazy, I could just come over here and fill my tank up and then filter the water, right? Look at all that water. Tens of thousands of gallons. I know it's not an ideal angle, but I figured I should show you guys a little bit of the roads that I'm driving, because otherwise you wouldn't see them if I didn't record it this way. Well, not much of a road, I guess. Just my tracks. Never really came down any of these roads because I figured there was nothing here. And I think I was probably right. There just hasn't been much. There was that reservoir, which is kind of cool, probably for the cattle rancher and whatever. And most of these roads just haven't been driven much, and if they are, they've been driven by the ranchers who come out occasionally, you know, because they're looking for cattle. It's surprising that there are roads clear out here, though. Apparently they were going to develop this a long time ago, like 30 years ago or so. And I'm just surprised there's still a road here, and that someone had to have driven this in the last year, I think. I think it has to have been driven in the last year, maybe 6 months. So probably the rancher, because just who in their right mind? Even me, it's kind of pushing it to be clear out here. And so just somebody that's not even, that doesn't even live out here. It has to be the cattle rancher that drives these roads. There's just no reason. Whoa! I let all the dogs out to run behind me. And Helga got tired the soonest. I am sure she's the oldest. So I let her back in, and then the boys, they were running. I made them chase me for about half a mile, 20 miles an hour. They're just right there alongside of me. So they'll be tired. All right, guys, tonight's the night that we find out. So the last couple nights it's been 37 degrees. It's supposed to be closer to 25 tonight. So I went ahead and kind of made a tent over this side and this side with my plastic. I know it's not ideal, but hopefully, because you know there's the hoop house layer, the plastic inside that layer, and then this third layer, hopefully it doesn't get too much condensation build up in there, and therefore doesn't freeze any of the vegetables and things. And I'm hoping I did the best thing tonight by doing this. I noticed I was just down in the geothermal. Sorry about the camera. And this is the hibiscus that's been in there. So you can see it's actually starting to grow some fruit at the end there. And I thought, man, I don't want to lose that. So hopefully it's not too late. I'd really like to see that grow some fruit. And there's, you know, I've got the other little one over there. So hopefully it feels like spring in there tonight. Whew. And, well, we'll see how it goes.